Minutes ago, Judge Tanya Chutkan announced from the bench that she will impose a partial gag order on former President Donald Trump. Specifically, she will prohibit all parties in the case, including Mr. Trump, from making or reposting any statements publicly targeting the special counsel, his staff, the judge's staff, or court personnel, and also will prohibit statements about potential witnesses and the subject of their testimony. So, for example, Mr. Trump will be able to criticize former Vice President Mike Pence, who, after all, he's running for president against in the Republican primary, but he won't be able to talk about Mr. Pence's potential testimony in this election case, in which, of course, Mr. Pence is a key witness.
And there you have it, just completely unconstitutional, unprecedented. This is what they're doing. They are so petrified of this man that they're going to go through all these lengths just to attempt to stop him. Before we dive into this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you guys could please share to get it out there. So here we go now. So now they want to issue a gag order for a presidential candidate. Just think about that. And I don't know if anybody, life is pretty simple when you look at things through just a simple prism, if that makes any sense. Joe Biden, right? He's in charge of the DOJ. The DOJ, you have Merrick Garland, this little weasel, and he has all his vendetta because he was never on the Supreme Court, so he has ulterior motives and all that other stuff. So you have Merrick Garland, who's underneath Merrick Garland. He appointed the special counsel, Jack Smith, the one that Trump calls deranged, and he looks like a deranged individual. This is the same person that's putting forth this indictment. We want to arrest him. We want to lock him up for 700 plus years. That's what these people are all about. They just want Trump gone. They don't care what it's for. It could be for a traffic stop. They just want him gone. That's how intimidated that they are by him. And what does he usually represent? Oh, America first. They're not about all that, as you can see. Supposedly Joe's going to be going to Israel. Oh, that's real nice, but he's never been to East Palestine of Ohio. How does that work? Oh, so you won't go visit the people of Ohio, but you'll fly over water to go see somebody in another country. You see how all that works?
Well, I haven't had the occasion to go to East Palestine. There's a lot going on.
But that's another topic for another day. So all of these people are under Joe. That's who's giving the blessing for all this. Then you have this insane judge, this Tanya Chutkan. I think that's the way that you say her name. I don't even think she's even from the States. I don't even think she's even from here. But so she's going to issue a gag order for a presidential candidate that is running against the one that's supposedly this phony commander-in-chief, the one that's sitting in the White House. So he is basically, in essence, gagging his presidential opponent.
Hush up, boy.
And people don't see a problem with this. Do you see how unprecedented, how they are just skipping through all of these lines straight to communism? This is the stuff you see in distant lands, countries we can't even spell or pronounce. This doesn't happen in the United States of America. You have the First Amendment for a reason, and that's for all speech, whether you like it or not, from both sides, whether you like it or not. Him calling the prosecutor deranged, really, that's a threat? Him saying that this judge is just completely just insane, even that completely hates his guts, made all these crazy statements about him, that's threatening. Now, if he was on Truth Social, on anywhere talking about, here, we're going to find out where these people live, we're going to run up on them, and we're going to take care of them so we don't have to worry. If he's doing stuff like that, that's different.
Oh, he comes, I'm going to punch him out. This is my
wow,
moment.
I would pay to see
I've
that.
been waiting for this, for trespassing on the Capitol grounds. I'm going to punch him out, and I'm going to go to jail, and I'm going to be happy.
There is no witness tampering or nothing. He can't speak about how Michael Cohen is a convicted perjurer. You can't, in essence, talk about any of this stuff. But they're saying that, oh, he's allowed to talk about Mike Pence, but he can't talk about Mike Pence and relate it to the case.
And what this judge concluded is that these inflammatory statements that Donald Trump has been repeatedly making, calling the prosecutor deranged, attacking the judge, attacking witnesses, are out of bounds and have the potential to intimidate and even spark violence, threats from the public at large, and that he shouldn't be allowed to make them. Now, what Donald Trump's lawyers say that they will immediately appeal this order, and there's every reason to believe that the Supreme Court will ultimately have to weigh in on this. We're in uncharted territory here with a presidential candidate who has been gagged by a judge, Andrea.
So how is that supposed to work? You can even hear the guy right there, the newscat. Even he's like, man, I don't even, this is just, we've never even seen this before. It's going to wind up at the Supreme Court. It's just, so they want to take him off the ballot. They want to literally ruin him as a businessman. They want to confiscate all of his businesses, make sure he can't operate in the state of New York at all. They want to make sure even future businesses with his kids are done. They want to completely like seize Mar-a-Lago. Why do you think they're just suing him into oblivion? They want to hope that all of these court cases, all this debt mounts up so much that he starts losing his properties, because that's how a lot of people lose stuff in the end of the day. It's lawsuits and lawyer fees and all that stuff mounting up millions. Could you imagine how this tally's just rolling around? They want to completely ruin him, not only his, but his children's lives as well. That's exactly what they want to do, and they're doing it in broad daylight for everybody to see. That's how much they want to stop and despise this man. And so anybody else can make comments, right? They'll say, oh, the prosecutors, or they'll have a gag order too. Nobody cares what they have to say. People want to know exactly what's going on. You're never going to get the truth from the media, so you're hearing it from the source. This trial as well should be televised. Let everybody see the corruption at full hand. Let people see exactly what's going on with this Justice Department. And I would say this for anybody, even for Joe, anybody, Hunter Biden, name anybody, Chuck Schumer, anybody, Nancy Pelosi. Nobody's speech should be gagged whatsoever. If you are actually threatening somebody like, man, once I see this dude, I'm going to shank him, I'm going to run by him, and that's the end of it. That's different. Him calling somebody deranged? Are you kidding me?
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
And we're in the United States of America, not the United States of China.
You sure about that?
This is them trying to slowly get rid of everyone's rights. It's right in front of you. This is what they want to do. They've already talked about how they want to amend, just completely abolish the Constitution. You already see what they're trying to do with the Second Amendment, and the Second Amendment protects all the rest of them. You see what they're trying to do. Slowly but surely, they want to completely erode what this country even stands for. Why do you think the borders are allowed to be open? Why do you think they do all these diversity hires and all these people that aren't even qualified, just like this judge? You have to be impartial. You have to have a blindfold. You have to be able to look at things objectively, even if you don't like people. That's the way the justice system's supposed to work. How is the dude supposed to campaign, has all these lawsuits on him, but can't talk about the lawsuits? So when he's asked, oh man, how come you weren't in Iowa, or how come you weren't in Georgia the other day? And really he was in court, he can't talk about what took place? He can't say, listen, the reason I wasn't at this rally is because they had me tied up in the damn court system. It's just completely ridiculous. And Joe sits back while all of this takes place. And this is what they said Trump was going to do if he got power. He was going to be a dictator. He was going to go after everybody. They're showing you, but what they're doing is they've ripped that Band-Aid off. To now, there's no excuse. The gloves are off. Anything can go. And that's what they want. A banana republic, communism. They want this country to just function and work just like all the other countries that you see in these distant lands that they care so much about.
Providing assistance for the Ukrainians to defeat the Russians, that's the number one priority for the United States right now.
And as well, even if he didn't make a statement about this case and there was, say, a threat against the judge, or you guys ever notice, there's these anonymous things, somebody called and left a nasty voicemail how they're going to get the judge and whatever, and then they pin it on Trump. That's what they want to do with this whole case in general. People that tore up windows and stuff like that at the Capitol, they want to try to blame that on him. That's what all this stuff's about. So it doesn't matter if he's completely muzzled or if he was talking 24/7. They're going to blame him them regardless. But this is completely out of bounds and unconstitutional. But that's what they know that. Just like the mandates, the vaccines stuff, they knew all that stuff was unconstitutional. They wanted to put forward, have it put all this pressure, see who was going to bend, see who was going to break. Then, oh, here comes the Supreme Court. Oh, it's actually unconstitutional. Hey, I'm going to forgive all this student loan debt. Vote for me. And then people line up. Yay, he's going to get rid of it. These fools don't look at things objectively. They just can't think for themselves. And then what happens? Oh, it's unconstitutional. You can't just create bills and then have taxpayers pay for them because you don't feel like going to school anymore or taking care of the debt that you've accumulated. This is what they do. They do not abide by the Constitution. That's what you're seeing right here. So they know this will go up. It'll be struck down as unconstitutional, but they want to try to gag them enough to where they can push forth all this stuff, leak everything out to the press, and he cannot talk about it. That's what I'm saying. It's all about getting a charge on him, something they know is unconstitutional. It's not going to stick, and it's going to end up getting turned over on appeal. They know that, but the appeal will be well after the election. They just want to have him up there on a debate stage and say, how can somebody vote for you when you're a convicted felon and all this? That's what they want to do. They want to peg him as this demonic evil force. You can't vote for him or the country will not survive. And the country ain't doing too hot right now, is it? So what would you rather have? Somebody that wants to put America first and is fighting against, think about the corrupt media, corrupt politicians, the whole Justice Department, these rogue DAs in all these cities and all that. What you want to be on the side of all these people that don't care about you whatsoever, that just have some sick agenda, or be against somebody that's trying to expose all these individuals and trying to put the country first, that is trying to keep us out of distant wars and all this endless nonsense and actually stop with all this reckless spending and bankrupting this country. So do you want that individual, or no, you're on the side of the media and all that, and that's the wrong place to be. But you guys let me know. Maybe I just don't see it clearly. Maybe he's such a danger that, man, he was president before and everything was fine. There was no wars, but now this time, that's what they do. Oh, all this stuff. Oh, it wasn't true, but this time we're gonna get them. And they just feed everybody this cheese and they eat it, this rotten cheese, until they realize it's just poisonous, but then it's too late. These people are sick. This country is completely compromised right now. But maybe everything's all glitz and glamour and I just see it through some crazy prism. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you could please share so we can get it out there, and I will catch you guys on the next one.